Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever the time you're watching us. I am the Grime Lloyd, and this is the final round of the DTM Offline Championship, the 2010 season from Monza. This track has 5 kilometers, 793 meters. It has 11 corners. The battle for the title is between Renzians from Latvia and Levente Dobos from Hungary. Levente Dobos has 42 points and 1 win, but Renzians has 44 and 2 wins. Renzians just needs a first or a second place, and he doesn't have to depend of any result from Levente Dobos. Meanwhile, if he doesn't finish in the points, Dobos would have to finish 6th or better in order to win the title. In just a moment, we're going to see the starting lineup. There you have it, row number 1. It will be Hakan Salm, his second pole of the season, and alongside him is Joe Dyer. Row number 2 is Nelson Mondialo, very surprising, and in 4th place is Chris Brown. Row number 3, it is Andrea Federi, the homeboy, and Petra Muka. Row number 4, it is Alvin Summers and Jimmy Goldsmith. Row number 5, there you're going to see Richard Johnson and one of the title contenders, Renzians. Row number 6, there you're going to see Jonathan Kloske and Azu Zafri. Row number 7, Victor Prieto and Vedran Vedrina. Row number 8, Oscar Clayton, and there you're going to see the offline racing veteran Julius Anderson. Row number 9, Victory Bobo and Jordan Worrell. Row number 10, John Artur and Robert Ionescu, who's replacing Mirni Ablaga. And then on the final row, there you're going to see Alexander Zemchik. And there you're going to see the other title contender, that is Levente Dobos. He had a horrible qualifying, and he's going to start from the back. Pay attention to the lights. 1 light, 2 lights, 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights. We are underway for the final round of the 2010 DTM Offline Championship season. Good start from Hakan Salm. This is the first of 46 laps. So this is going to be a long race, ladies and gentlemen. They're entering the Retifilio. Look at Joel Dyer there, trying to get the first place from Hakan Salm. I think we had a clean start. What a shocker, we had a clean start. I mean, GP2 had a very messy start when they had the race, and the GP4 Offline Championship also had quite of a rough start with a crash at Retifilio. The same thing happened in GP2, but not in DTM. Oh no, these guys mean business. That is Robert Ionescu. He's already in 21st. Not a good start. He competed in the GP4 Offline Championship this week in Monza, where he was involved in a crash with Sontag and Strachan. Oh, look at this. Look at Muka. Petra Muka going off. And Jimmy Goldsmith has spun. Did it happen a collision there? I think it happened a collision between these two. We gotta see the replay here. That is Petra Muka. Goldsmith right there. I don't think there was a collision. It didn't look like a collision to me. It did not look like a collision to me. And Muka just went wide. I think he missed the braking and he just went straight. And he spun. And Goldsmith, I don't think he was expecting for Muka to make a mistake. And Goldsmith just, he went off. Oh, he was hit. He was hit by Azu Zafri. That's why he spun. He returned right on the path of Azu Zafri. Azu Zafri had nothing to do. He couldn't avoid it in time, and he ended up hitting Jimmy Goldsmith. I think Azu Zafri didn't have any damage, and if that happened, he is very lucky. That is Jimmy Goldsmith, and that is Petra Muka. Petra Muka has won a race already in this season. He won in Czech Republic back in round number 3. Look at Chris Brown here. Chris Brown is going to overtake Nelson Mondialo. So there is the human walking meme machine, so to speak. He was overtaken by Chris Brown. And look at Ranz Jans. Ranz Jans is already in 8th place. That's exactly what Levente Dobos doesn't need now. There you see lap number 2 already. Levente Dobos is in 20th. That is not good. Look at Oscar Clayton here, overtaking Ranz Jans at Rogia. Good work. There you see Petramuka all the way in the back. That is Jimmy Goldsmith overtaking John Arthur already. Not a good start for the Brazilian. Now what happened here? Yeah, that is Robert Ionescu. Ionescu, who is replacing Mirnia Blaga for this race. He's racing the number 12 today. I think he made a mistake coming out of Lesmo. I think he didn't expect to cut the curb. Look at this, more fights in the Ascari. Look at this, Ionescu and Zimchik. Zimchik almost going off. And look at this, Goldsmith going off. Oh, and he was hit. He was hit by Petramuka. I think Goldsmith lost his door. Holy dingly parts. I think he lost his door. Let's see the replay here. That is John Arthur, and he hit Jimmy Goldsmith. Goldsmith went to the gravel. He returned to the track, and Muka had nowhere to go, and he ended up hitting Jimmy Goldsmith. And yes, Petramuka did rip off one of the doors from Jimmy Goldsmith's car. So anything can enter Jimmy Goldsmith's car now, because there's no right door. On board with John Arthur, there it is. He ended up hitting Goldsmith, and he spun as well. There you see the Brazilian trying to return to the track. Arthur had a winless season so far, but yeah, he's trying, but some of the races are not good. There you see Jordan Morrow. What happened with Jordan? And he just went very wide of the Parabolica. He spun and he actually hit the wall. He was very lucky to not have any damage. There you see Jordan Worrell trying to return to the track. Worrell already has a win in this series. He won in Spielberg in Austria in the middle of the season. There you see Ranz Jans in 9th place. For now, Ranz Jans is winning the title. We got a yellow flag at the Rettifilio. Look at Victory Bobo. Holy dingly parts. Victory Bobo has crashed out of the race. This was bound to happen. Now we're going to see the replay here. And yeah, too many cars in so little space. He ended up hitting Azul Zafri. Oh man, he just went straight. Now folks, for those of you who might remember or not remember this, but last season in GP2, there was a race in Italy, and Hakan Salm had a crash with Adam Kemp and Rettifilio. After the crash, he did exactly the same thing. He turned to the left and he went straight to the wall where he crashed. That's the same thing that is happening now with Victory Bobo. I want to bet that it's a suspension failure that happened for the British. And that was exactly what happened with Hakan Salm. He had a suspension failure and he ended up straight into the wall, and his race was over there. And while Victory Bobo's out of the race, look at this, Chris Brown and Alvin Summers. 3 laps and so many things happening. That's a lot of action there. Look at this. This race is action-packed already. Now, this is Alvin Summers. He tried to overtake Chris Brown. Chris Brown went straight on. He was very lucky to not spin. And Alvin Summers spun. Well, Tough titties for Alvin Summers, and now he has to wait for everyone else because he doesn't want to be involved in a stupid collision. Look at this. He tried to put side by side, but there was no space, and he ended up hitting Brown, but Summers was the one who spun. It is a racing incident, folks. This is what happens in racing. I mean, things like this happens all the time. It's just a little collision's not going to hurt anyone. Maybe a heavy collision will. Oh, look at this. Chris Brown again. And that's better than Vedrina, actually. Look at this. Look at Chris Brown here. He went wide coming out of the Parabolica. He did the same thing that Jordan Worrell did. And right there at the back, there is Vedran Vedrina. Holy dangly parts. I think he caught some airtime there. And there's a jam pack, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. Shades of Molson Indy Toronto. Yeah, shades of Molson Indy Toronto. For those of you who used to watch that race, you might remember the constant jam pack in the hairpin. That was exactly what happened here, folks. A trip down memory lane, so to speak. There is Hakan Salm, your race leader. He hasn't won so far in this series. He came this close to win in Belgium, but that wasn't to be, as that race was won by Oscar Clayton after a controversial overtake right at the final lap. But it was an overtake anyway. That is Victor Prieto in 7th place. Victor Prieto, who won in Hockenheim, which was the first ever race for DTM. So he's going to be in the history books forever. I mean, his season, Victor Prieto's season has been made of highs and lows, but he will always be in the history books no matter what happens, because he won the first ever race of DTM Offline Championship. That is Vedran Vedrina in 18th. Vedran Vedrina is having a part of a problematic season, but he has impressed quite a few people. There are already the rumors that he might be going to GP2 for the next season, but we gotta wait and see. There you see Julius Anderson already losing another position. What a terrible championship Julius Anderson is doing. I mean, he's one of the top guys in many offline championships around the world, but here he's not doing good. I mean, he's very used to close cars. Like, he drives a lot of NASCAR offline championships. I thought this would be an advantage for him, but it wasn't. It clearly wasn't. That is Alvin Summers overtaking Levente Dobos. That is not good for the Hungarian. That is Summers overtaking Goldsmith, who still has no door. And then he overtakes Levente Dobos to take 13th place. That is not good for Levente Dobos. There you see Nelson Mondialo, the worldwide driver, so to speak. And that is Jimmy Goldsmith. You can barely see it here from this camera, but the right door, it doesn't exist anymore. So there's no door right there. We should definitely have a shot of that. That is Jimmy Goldsmith overtaking Levente Dobos as well. That is not good for Levente Dobos, who is already in 15th. Meanwhile, Renz Jans is way ahead of him. That is Levente Dobos. Levente Dobos, who in the last 2 seasons competed in GP2, he was very average, so to speak. He won 1 race only. That was in Nürburgring in 2009. He never had any pole position, but then he came to DTM and he became one of the top guys. And he was leading the championship for the most time. And there you see, that is Jimmy Goldsmith's car. That was what I was talking about. He has no right door right there. So if you want to enter his car, just do it. No one's going to stop you. That is Hakan Salm. Hakan Salm still chilling the lead. A 4-second lead over Joel Dyer. Joe Dyer, who's also having a fine season. I mean, a winless season, but very consistent. There you see Dobos in a race against time. He needs to get points. Now we are back to Sam. And now showing Worrell. Look at this, Worrell and Dobos. Dobos is going to lose another position. And that's exactly what happens. Levente Dobos is in 16th. And Renzians is in 8th. Renzians is winning the title. Like, even if he doesn't finish in the points, Renzians would still be winning the title. That is not good for Levente Dobos. Look at Kloske. Kloske and Ionescu. And Ionescu overtakes Jonathan Kloske. And there you see, now back to Nelson Mondialo. And now back to Jonathan Kloske. The camera work is on fire. They have no idea who they're going to show. This is brought to you by Volker Vision, but I must say Volker Vision is doing a good job despite this these weird stuff. Or who are they going to show? And look at Azu Zafri going wide. Well, hold it, cowboy. Azu Zafri just went wide to the Parabolica. That is the replay right there. Coming into the Parabolica, and he makes a mistake already there, and his car already just goes almost straight on. He was very lucky to not hit the wall. Very nice control, very nice car control from Azu Zafri. Very well done. That is Robert Ionescu. Ionescu was overtaken by Jonathan Kloske. Very good overtaking maneuver by Jonathan Kloske. Coming to Rettifilio. And now Ionescu trying to overtake Kloske. Side by side coming to the Rogia. And that's exactly what he does. Ionescu takes 9th place. And back to your racing leader, Hakansalm. There is Levente Dobos. Levente Dobos is in a race against time. Can he catch up to Renzians? Well, that remains to be seen. We are on lap number 8 of 46. There's still plenty of race to come. That is Zimchik. Alexander Zimchik. Trying to overtake Jimmy Goldsmith, but he couldn't get it done. Look at Anderson here. Anderson side by side with Kloske, and Julius Anderson is going to take 10th place. Very good overtaking maneuver from Julius Anderson. Not his best moment in the season, but hey, it's better than nothing. That is Renzians. Renzians is in 8th place. He's right behind Victor Prieto. I mean, if he wants, just for bragging rights, he can make it better. I mean, he can try to catch Prieto, but I don't think he wants that. I think he's just he only cares now about the title and the points that he can get for now. That is Julius Anderson there. All aboard the Julius Anderson train. Choo choo, that's always what they say. Look at this. And there it is. Trying to put side by side. Look at this, side by side with Goldsmith, and the camera just cut it. Oh, and Anderson went wide. Now we gotta show the replay again. Look at this. Yeah, the same thing that happened in lap 1 with Petromuk and Jimmy Goldsmith. Anderson just went straight on. He had no space. He just made the corner even fatter than what it is. There you see the cars there in the back. Dobosh is in 17th. He's trying to get to the rest of the guys. Now, I think the action just stopped a little bit. Yeah, that was in the first few laps. So many things happened. A lot of people going off the Parabolica. People going off the Rettifilio. Victory Bobo just crashed in the Rettifilio. People going off at the Ascari. Oh, never mind. Look at Jordan Worrell there making a mistake at Rettifilio. Now we gotta watch the replay here. What happened? Was there a collision? It was a collision with John Artur. Another collision involving the Brazilian. That is not good for him. And there it is. And Worrell needs to wait for everyone else. Oh boy. That is the replay. John Artur just smashed in. I would say this is a racing incident though. I mean, it's racing. It can happen to anyone. It's gonna happen to anyone. It's gonna happen to them. It's gonna happen to you. It's gonna happen to me. It's gonna happen to him. It's going to happen with her. It happens to anyone. So there's no need to complain. Oh, he hit me. Oh, he deserves a penalty. This is not some other championship where races are decided after the flag. Come on, give me a break, guys. There is Nelson Mondialo. For a moment there, I thought my voice was gone. Well, it's not. But this race is going to be long, so after the race, maybe my voice will be gone. And if that happens, tough titties, I guess. There's John Artur trying to catch. He's trying to overtake Levente Dobosh side by side coming to the Parabolica, and that's exactly what he does. That's exactly what it does. And look at Dobosh going wide. Oh boy, that's exactly what you don't need now. We may actually see the replay. Hold on a minute. Look at Chris Brown. But he couldn't overtake Levente Dobosh. But he was close though. He was close. Look at the replay here. That is Levente Dobosh. He did the same thing that Azu Zafri did a few laps ago. He did the same thing. There it is. Chris Brown are trying to overtake Levente Dobosh. It's like I said so many times in the GP2 commentary, folks. Anything can happen. And yes, you can do a counter of how many times I say anything can happen. Just don't do a drinking game. Have common sense. There is Anderson, Julius Anderson there, trying to catch. That is Zemchik. Obviously, Julius Anderson not doing a good season. He's not having a good season. We might actually see him in the next season, but this season has been quite problematic. And look at this! Levente Dobosh. Can he come back? Can he hang on? Can he just make it? Oh, and that was a hit! That was from Levente Dobosh. That tire was from Levente Dobosh. And you know what that means? Well, me neither. Well, I'm just kidding. Of course you know what this means. Rens Jans has won the title. Look at this. He spun. I think he was hit by Chris Brown. Didn't even pay attention. But he spun. And Petra Muka, he couldn't even avoid it. And Dobosh lost his tire. Rens Jans has won the DTM Offline Championship. He is the first ever champion. Now Rens Jans even can throw the car in any corner he desires. Like, he already won the title. There you see it? There was no collision. Both Dobosh and Brown went off at the same time, but there was no collision. And Brown just got away, but Dobosh stayed, and Muka had nowhere to go. Muka just smashed in. He just smashed into Levente Dobos, and that's the championship over. Renzians has won the title. Now, Renzians is very likely to go to Sauber in the main series, so we're not going to see him having the number 1 for the next season. There he is. Renzians has won the title. For now, he's in 8th place, but if he wants, he can make it better. That is Renzians. There's still some yellow flags there at Ascari because there's some debris there. Levente Dobos car is not there anymore, but Levente Dobos car is actually there. So maybe that's why the yellow flag is still there. That is Petramuka returning from the pits. And that's Federi just getting rid of him fair and square. That is Andrea Federi, the homeboy of this race. He's Italian, so was this track. And yeah, he's Fanico Gamba's buddy, so I guess we should call him Fratello d'Italia as well. That got quite over very well last time. That is Oscar Clayton. Oscar Clayton being catched by Richard Johnson. Oscar Clayton, who won in Spa-Francorchamps, and Richard Johnson, who won a very shocking result in Barcelona. He won in the final lap in an overtake. No one thought he would do it, but he did, and he did it the final lap. So Richard Johnson at least got a win, but his season has been very problematic, needless to say. Lap number 12 of 46. That is Oscar Clayton. And there you see, right behind him, Richard Johnson in the yellow and green car. Lap number 13 at this point. There you have both drivers leaving Rettifilio and going straight to the Curva Grande, which is also known as Biassono. And now they're coming straight to Roggia. That is Nelson Mondialo. Mondialo is in 2nd place. He is in 2nd place at the moment. I think Dyer went to the pits already. That's why he lost 2nd place, because Joe Dyer was in 2nd. I did not pay attention to that. I apologize. Well, that's what happens. Oh, Joe Dyer is in 4th. Joe Dyer is in 4th, so maybe he was overtaken by both Nelson Mondialo and Andrea Federi. So Joe Dyer is now in 4th. So yeah, he probably didn't go to the pits at this point. I mean, there's so many things happening that a lot of other things are going to be omitted as well. And not that it's going to be on purpose, it's just there's so many things happening. I mean, one of the title contenders is already out. That is Levente Dobos. That means Renzians has won the title. So there's so many things happening. There are a lot of things that people just won't notice for now. But I did. And look at Zemchik. Speaking of noticing that, I think everyone noticed that. That is Zemchik. He did the same thing that Azu Zafri did. He did the same thing that Levente Dobos also did a few laps ago. I think someone threw something very sticky at the Parabolica, because that is the 3rd driver going off there. Sorry, the 6th driver going there, because before these 3, there were other drivers there. There were Vedran Vedrina, there was Chris Brown, there was Jordan Worrell, so many people going off at Parabolic. I think someone threw something sticky there, something sticky that you don't wish to touch, because everyone's just going off at the Parabolic. I mean, what is going on here? And there it is. That is Andrea Federi. Andrea Federi, who debuted in round number 3 in Brno at the Czech Republic. He ended up replacing, I believe, Colin Riley, I think? Yeah, I believe it was Colin Riley. That is Hakan Salm. Salm, who, I don't know if I already said this. Well, this is the second take, so whatever. Hakan Salm, who, until this Wednesday, he was the reigning GP2 champion. But now he isn't anymore because Rifki Fakhrizadeh just won the GP2 title. So, tough titties for you, mate, but no one can ever take the title of the 2009 GP2 title from Hakan Salm. That will be forever with him. But he's not the reigning champion anymore. He's now the former champion. There is Federi trying to catch Mondialo, but Mondialo is gaining on him. Now the gap is 3 seconds. That is Mondialo leaving the Parabolica. Now going with Jonathan Clousquet. Jonathan Clousquet, who's yet to win in this season. He came close to win, but he was hit by Mihne Ablaga in Hockenheim, so that didn't happen, did it? Well, still, the win never came for Jonathan Clousquet. That is Hakan Salm. He's not gaining on Mondialo. The gap was 8.3, and now the gap is 8.2. Now, what happened there with John Arthur? Did something happen with the Brazilian? Oh, he overtook Julius Anderson. Look at this. Side by side, coming into Ascari. That is a great maneuver from the Brazilian, who's trying to do a consistent season, but John Arthur had a few problems in this season of DTM. We still don't know if he's going to be in DTM for this season. Sorry, if he's going to be in the DTM for the next season. He has been here in this season. For crying out loud, Graham Lloyd, get your stuff together. But John Arthur, we don't know if he's going to stay in DTM for the next season. Some people are saying that probably not. And who knows? Who knows what is going to happen with John Arthur for the next season? I think he deserves another chance. I'm not being biased because, well, we both are from Brazil, but I think, everyone deserves a second chance. Like Julius Anderson, for example, his championship has been a disaster, and he's very likely to return. And I think it's well deserved because people, in racing, people deserve a second chance. It doesn't mean that you fail in one season and you're going to be a disaster just because of that. Unless if you're a Victory Bobo or, I don't know, Michael Macho in the main series, but that's not the point. That is totally not the point. Now that is Dyer leaving the pits, 5.1. Goldsmith is entering the pits. There you see the replay of Joel Dyer's pit stop. He's entering the pits. There it is. The tires, the fuel, and there it was. That was Joel Dyer's pit stop. That is Goldsmith. Goldsmith is going to the pits right now. The tires, the fuel, and 5.9. Get out of there. 5.9 for Jimmy Goldsmith. He's back to the track. Alvin Summers is in the pits as well. Zemchik is in the pits. 5.7. Not a quick pit stop. Summers 5.5. That is Vedran Vedrina 6.7. A very slow pit stop for Vedran Vedrina. 5.1 for Chris Brown. And Chris Brown is back to the track. There you see Hakansom, the race leader. And now Nelson Mondialo going to the pits. So he's going on a 2-stop. There it is. Quite the amount of fuel, 6.2. That is a long pit stop for Nelson Mondialo. Now going with Oscar Clayton. 6 seconds, not a good pit stop. That is Ionescu, Robert Ionescu, the Romanian who's replacing another Romanian. That would be Mihnia Blaga. Ionescu 5.9. And now John Arthur entering the pits. And he stops. And then the tires, and then the fuel. And get out of there. 6.1. We got a yellow flag at the Rettifilio. What happened? 6.2 for Roro, 7.3 for Zafri. That is a horrible pit stop. And that is Ionescu. Robert Ionescu. He loves turn 1, but no. What happened there? He left the pits. Holy dingly parts. He was hit by Jonathan Clousquet. I think Clousquet thought this was Mihnia Blaga. Oh, and Clousquet was actually hit by... He was hit by someone else there. He was hit by Goldsmith. He was hit by Goldsmith. Look at this. Holy dingly parts. I mean, it's racing. It can happen to anyone. Look at this. Yeah, he was hit by Goldsmith later on. I think Clousquet thought this was Blaga because of what happened in Hockenheim, because Blaga smashed into Clousquet, and Clousquet lost the win that we all thought he was going to get. And now he ended up hitting the 12th car in Monza, but it's not Mihnia Blaga there. It is Robert Ionescu. I think he stole the engine. I think Robert Ionescu stole the engine. That is not good. Race leader Hakansom in the pits on lap number 19. And 7.6. What a horrible pit stop for Hakansom. Maybe he's going to stop only once. Andrea Federi, 6.3 for Andrea Federi. Victor Prieto is in the pits at this point. 6.1. He's out of there. Julius Anderson in the pits. I mean, I said Robert Ionescu loves turn 1, but no. Like, he was hit in turn 1 in GP4 Flying Championship when he was hit by Philly Strachan. I mean, Philly Strachan just closed his eyes and then boom. It just the collision just happened. And again, Robert Ionescu was hit in turn number 1, so tough titty, sucks to be him. That is Imchik. Trying to overtake Julius Anderson. That was a collision between the two. Oh, man. Oh, Anderson keeps going, but Zemchik spun. Now, we gotta see the replay here. Look at this. Boom. Right there. And Zemchik spun. These two guys are not doing a good season, to be fair. At least they have that in common. That is Alexander Zemchik. Maybe we're going to see him again in DTM for the next season. Maybe. Maybe yes. Maybe not. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not Zemchik to know, okay? That is Richard Johnson. Richard Johnson in the pits. Richard Johnson with the rumors that he's very likely to go to GP2. So this could be his final DTM race. That is Richard Johnson. 5.4 for Richard Johnson, who won in Barcelona. 6.6 for Renzians, and he's coming back to the track as well. Look at Prieto and Johnson. That was a collision. Holy dingly buzz. Look at Richard Johnson. He got some hang time there. This is not NBA, but that was a hang time. We gotta see the replay here. But I guess it was too many cars in one space. Yeah, there's too many cars in one solitary space. Of course, this is not gonna end well. And Johnson caught some hang time there. Jans was lucky to not hit him. And Johnson just did a 360, brother. And he went straight back to the track. And that is Jonathan Clousquet. And 6.6 for Jonathan Clousquet. He's back to the track. Lap number 20. That is Oscar Clayton. Now they're showing everyone at the same time. Who am I going to show here? The cameraman. The cameraman is having a stroke. I think he's having a stroke because he has no idea. Oh my God! I'm going to show who here. There's a veteran Vedrina being attacked there by Jordan Worrell. Veteran Vedrina, who is also there are quite a few rumors that we could be seeing him in GP2 for the next season. Veteran Vedrina is having a season of highs and lows. I think he deserves better. I think Johnson made a mistake. Let's see the replay here. Richard Johnson. And yeah. I think someone threw oil in Parabolica because, again, someone going wide at the Parabolica. Why? Why is everyone going there with the Parabolica? Just why? And now Jordan Worrell overtaking Veteran Vedrina, coming into Ascari. Not a good season for Veteran Vedrina. He's a good driver. I mean, he deserves better. But here in racing, guys, in racing, it's not about if you deserve. It's about if you can get it. I've seen in racing so many people who did not deserve to win a race, and they did. It happens. It can happen to anyone. It's just like accidents. It can happen to anyone. Okay, so that is Jonathan Clousquet. Jonathan Clousquet there all by himself. I mean, Muka is far away from him. Ionescu is far away from him. Ionescu is already scoring the fastest lap. So, good for him. But this doesn't give him any points. So, tough titties. I think this is just for bragging rights. There is Andrea Federi. Andrea Federi, who, as I said, is the homeboy of this race. He is from Italy. Andrea Federi, who won a race in this season. He won... I think he won in Oscherschleiben, if I'm not mistaken. I think he won in Oscherschleiben. Well, anyway, that is Mondialu. Nelson Mondialu. He's in second place. The gap is getting smaller between him and Federi. It was 2.9 and now it's 2.8. So the gap is getting smaller between Mondialu and Andrea Federi. And meanwhile, Hakan Salm is just chilling in the lead. And the gap is getting even smaller. It was 2.8 and now it's 2.5 between Nelson Mondialu and Andrea Federi. So Federi is catching up to Nelson Mondialu. That is not good for the Romanian human walking meme machine, or whatever you want to call him. That is Hakan Salm, lap 23 of 46. With half of the race gone, there's still half of the race to go. That is Salm. Now coming into Roggia. That is Variante della Roggia. My Italian is usually not good, but I know the names of these corners, so I can hang on to it. That is, speaking of Italian, that is Andrea Federi. And he's catching up to Mondialo a lot. Now it's 2.3, it was 2.5, now it's 2.3, so the gap is getting very, very small as the time passes by. So I wonder, what is Andrea Federi capable of? Can he catch to Mondialo? Because one thing is to catch the one that you want to overtake. The other thing is overtake. So you just don't get there. It doesn't mean that you're gonna easily overtake if you easily catch. Like, you can easily catch, but you can have a hard time trying to overtake. That's what I'm trying to say. That is Vedran Vedrina. His gap towards Worrell is getting worse. It was 2.1 and now it's 2.5. So sucks to be Vedran Vedrina for now. The first ever Croatian driver in this offline championship universe, so to speak. You can say that. That is now back to Sam. The gap is getting bigger now. It was 7.9 and now it's 8 seconds for Hakan Sam. He's 8 seconds ahead of Nelson Mondialo. That is a monstrosity of a gap. That is Mondialo in the pink car. I know some people who would be very proud of this car, but I know a lot of people who would hate this car if they saw it. Now, all that you need in this car is the number 24 and a pink car. If you're a Brazilian, you're gonna understand that. You're gonna catch that reference. Now back to Hakan Sam. Let's see if his gap is getting bigger, but they didn't show. They did not show the gap. They're not showing the gap between him and Mondialo. I think the gap is way too big, so they don't want to show it because the gap is way too big. So, well, okay, it is totally understandable because Andrea Federi is catching up to Mondialo. On board with Azu Zafri, who's catching up to Zimchik. The gap was 2 seconds, and now the gap is 1.8. So it may be happening. It is maybe happening. No one knows, but it's maybe happening. Back to Andrea Federi. This is Jonathan Kloski, and there is Jonathan Kloski leaving the Parabolica and yet to complete another lap. And Robert Ionescu is right behind him. He's right behind him. Maybe part 2 of Kloski versus Ionescu? Belgium versus Romania, exactly. Belgium versus Romania. If Nitsu was still there in the series, I think that would bring a lot of fireworks to the table. Now Mondialo and Federi, now the gap got bigger. It was 2.1, now it's 2.2. Mondialo has recovered a bit, and now he's going to catch Sam. .1. Now 8.2. Now the gap is getting bigger, actually. 8.2 is the gap between Sam and Mondialo. And the gap now getting even smaller now between Federi and Mondialo. It was 2.2 and now it's 2 seconds. I mean, if it was another series, they would use power boost or something like that. But here is not the place. Here's where real tough men drive. So they don't need these electronic junkyard. They don't need that. if they're gonna try to overtake, it's gonna be the hard way, baby, because that's how it always should be. That is Psalm. Psalm is just chilling in the lead. I mean, Psalm can take a nap. He can put in the autopilot, take a nap, talk with his girlfriend if he has one, talk with his mother, talk with his father, or I don't know. He can drink a coffee. I don't know. He can do a lot of things. He will still be in front of Nelson Mondialo. That is Clayton. On board with Oscar Clayton, I believe. Yeah, it is Oscar Clayton. And the gap is getting bigger between him and Joel Dyer. It was 0.37 and now it's 0.39. That is, the gap is getting a bit bigger. It's getting a bit bigger. And there you have it. He's trying to catch a Dyer. Let's see. 0.2. Now the gap got shorter. And look at Clayton. He got the draft. And now he's going side by side with Joel Dyer, coming to the Parabolica. And he's gonna make it 4th place. Well done for Oscar Clayton. That's a great maneuver. We are now on lap number 28 of 46. That is Oscar Clayton. That is Joel Dyer. And right at the back, it is Victor Prieto. That red car right there is Victor Prieto. And now Joel Dyer trying to get 4th place back from Oscar Clayton. Look at this side by side coming to the Rosia. Jesus Christ, guys. I mean, crashes are always part of the show, but take it easy a bit. Just a bit. That would have ended badly, but it didn't. That is Prieto. And that is Renzians, the champion of DTM. I don't know if I already told you that, but Renzians is the DTM offline champion. Probably I didn't tell you that before. And the DTM champion is trying to catch Victor Prieto, or is he? I mean, the gap got shorter. Now it's 2.6. It was 2.8, but is he really worried about that? I mean, he doesn't need it, but if he wants it, he's trying. He's trying to get to Victor Prieto. On board with Nelson Mondialo. Mondialo, who's very likely to keep the pink car for the next season. That is Vedran Vedrina. Vedrina is there. It's just like the song, like all by myself. I don't want to be all by. He's just like that song. I don't know how to sing that song, so yeah. No, I'm not a good singer. Come on, guys, give me a break. Anyway, just back to the racing. That is Vedran Vedrina. That is Nelson Mondialo. Federi is catching him, but one thing is catching him, the other thing is overtaking him. So it's like I said so many times in the GP2 stream, folks, anything can happen. That is Mondialo leaving the Parabolica, and he's gonna complete yet another lap. Lap number 30 of 46. That is Robert Ionescu trying to catch Jonathan Closke. It is Romania versus Belgium once again. And yeah, the gap is getting shorter. It was 0.5 and now it's 0.4. So this is going to be interesting. This is gonna take some butts off the seats, because you gotta be standing for something like this. Look at this, Robert Ionescu trying to overtake Closquet. The gap got shorter, now is 0.2. Ionescu caught the draft. He caught the draft, and he's gonna put side by side with Jonathan Closquet. And he's gonna do it at the Parabolica. Very well done for Robert. There you see Robert Ionescu in 19th place. And that is Azo Zafri in 14th place. Zafri is not having a good season, but he's trying. I mean, he already scored his first ever fastest lap. He scored in Spa-Francorchamps. That is already a start. I mean, Zafri already scored a few points. I think he scored second place once. I don't remember where, but he did score a second place once. So, I don't know, maybe we're going to see Azo Zafri back to DTM for another season. And even if he's going to be in another season of DTM, there are already rumors that we could see Azo Zafri as the test driver for Lotus the next season of GP4 Flying Championship, the Green Lotus, because there's going to be another Lotus for that season. That would be Renault, who will become Lotus Renault, and the Green Lotus, that is where Azo Zafri is very likely to be testing, to become the test driver. That is very likely. The rumors are intensifying, but we don't know if it will actually happen or not. I mean, the confirmation of test drivers for the main series will only be confirmed, like, it will only happen, I believe, after Brazil. So, for now, as for test drivers, we can only speculate. Speaking of Azo Zafri, there he is. Oh my god, look at this! Zafri and Zimchik, almost a collision there! Jesus Christ, guys, these guys are out of their minds! That was almost a collision between Zimchik and Zafri. But this is really fun. This is really fun to see. He caught the draft. He caught the draft again. No, but Zimchik gave the outside line because he's not stupid. He's very, very smart. But Zafri is going to get the draft again. Now he's going to pull to the side and side by side with Zimchik and Zafri. Zafri's going to take 13th place from Alexander Zimchik. Well done. And Anderson and Summers going to the pits. Julius Anderson and Alvin Summers going to the pits. And this is their second pit stop. Obviously, they're going to the end. They're not stupid to put not enough fuel to have to stop again later on. They're not stupid for that. And they're back to the track. There you see Alvin Summers, 6.3. Jordan Worrell is in the pits, 4.8. That is a very fast pit stop for Jordan Worrell. Very well made pit stop from Mercedes. Petramuka, 6.1. That is Petramuka returning to the track. Lap number 33. That is Oscar Clayton. And he's going to the pits. Now the tires. In the field, there's someone right behind him. I think that's Goatsmith. No, that's Dyer actually. Dyer is back, 6.2. Clayton is already out of the pits and he's going back to the track. That is John Arthur, who is in 10th place at this point. He's not having a good race, but he's trying to get to the points. I don't know if that's going to happen, but he's trying. He's trying his best. 5 seconds for John Arthur. That is Chris Brown. Trying to overtake John Arthur there. Oh, that was almost a collision. And Chris Brown, he cut the chicane. Now, he cut the chicane. He has to give his position back to John Arthur. Okay, so that is John Arthur. And nothing happened, I guess. Nothing happened, I guess. So that is Andrea Federi. Andrea Federi in the pits. We got a yellow flag at Roggia. And Andrea Federi is going to leave the pits. 6 seconds. Now, why we have a yellow flag? It is John Arthur. It is John Arthur and Chris Brown. John Arthur realized that Chris Brown was not going to let him pass because Chris Brown used, he cut the chicane for that. And then Chris Brown said, you know what? Take your penalty. Yeah. Take the penalty. Yeah, that is his penalty. He was hit by John Arthur. Yep. Look at this. Take your penalty. Take your penalty, he says. But yeah. Arthur with that lost a lot of positions, but Brown lost a lot of positions as well. So yeah. I guess that was a penalty for Chris Brown as well. The penalty was served. It's like the movie says, you got served. Now that is Chris Brown returning in 20th and last because there's only 20 cars on track. That is Federi. The replay of Federi in the pits. That is Prieto. And he was out of there. There was no timer. That is Azu Zafri. He's pulling to the pits. Now he's going for his pit stop. Prieto left the pits. There is Azu Zafri. Zafri is now in 12th. You know, he's going for his pit stop, the tires, the fuel, and get out of there. 5.2 for Azu Zafri. 13 laps to go. Ionescu in the pits. I mean, there's always this thing with Ionescu's name pronunciation because it is Ionescu, but sometimes people say Ionescu, but to me it is really hard to say Ionescu. So that's why I have to pause and say, Robert, Ionescu. The pause is intentional because to me it's really hard to say Ionescu. Well, it's a Romanian name, so yeah, go figure. Chris Brown, 4.8, he left the pits. Very fast stop for Chris Brown. Renzian's in the pits, that is your champion. And 6.1, 5.2 for Goldsmith. That is Richard Johnson in the pits. The Richard is in the pits. 6.6 for Richard Johnson. Now we're showing a lot of onboards because we can. That is, look at John Arthur there overtaking Mondialo. Oh, he wasn't lapping himself. He wasn't lapping himself, and Mondialo is going to the pits. Oh man, I thought, oh, John Arthur is overtaking Mondialo. What happened? Oh, he was a lap driver. He unlapped himself. Okay. So Mondialo is in the pits, 4.8. Salm already went to the pits. I think the leader is Federi, if I'm not mistaken. 4.8 for Mondialo, very fast pit stop. That is Federi. The leader is Hakan actually. I misjudge some things. Look at Federi. Federi takes second place from Mondialo. Very well done from Andrea Federi. There you have Mondialo. He's trying to recover his second place that he swears it's his. Now, Zemchik in the pits. The number 1 car of the BMW of Alexander Zemchik. The tires, the fuel, and get out of there. 4.9. That was really fast. Now it's Vedran Vedrina. Vedran Vedrina in the pits. And 6.2. He's out. Now look at this. Look at Mondialo. He caught the draft side by side with Federi at Ascari, and he took second place. Very good maneuver from Nelson Mondialo, the worldwide driver. Look at Federi. Federi wants to fight back. I wonder if we're going to see this battle between Federi and Mondialo till the end of the race. That is Mondialo. Sorry, that is Federi. That is Federi. Federi trying to catch Mondialo, both driving for Mercedes. Mercedes has 6 drivers in DTM, while Audi and BMW have 8 each. So Mercedes with a disadvantage, but what is the point when you already have the champion? And that is Renzians. Look at Federi here. Federi is going to take second place from Nelson Mondialo. Yes, he just did it. Look at this. Side by side at the Biasono. And what a great overtaking maneuver. He had his time. Mondialo played fair. He didn't throw the car at him. He was very fair. And Federi took second place. That is Hakan Som. You briefly saw Hakan Som, the race leader. It could be his first ever win in DTM. He already scored 1 pole position, actually 2 pole positions. One, I believe it was in Austria, and the other was here. So maybe finally we're going to see Hakan Som winning. Now we're going to lap number 38. That is Ionescu. Oh, that's Hakan Som! Hakan Som is out! Holy dangly parts! Hakan Som is out! Well, Grimeloid Jinxing Company, what do you need? That was a jinx right there. And Hakan Som is out. He had a suspension failure. Right there. He had a suspension failure. I think it's one of his rear suspensions that is shattered. There is Hakan Som. He cannot believe it. I mean, he was leading the race. Come on, man. Hakan Som is out of the race. The race is over for Hakan Som. The leader will be, I think the leader is Andrea Federi. And Mondialo is second, right? Yeah, Federi is leading. Now there it is. Hakan Som. It was a left rear suspension. It was a left rear suspension. Don't mind that noise. That was the cell phone. Well, I am in a house, and this house, I'm not the only one living here. So, of course, external noise external noises are gonna happen, so don't mind that. That is Mondialo trying to catch Federi. The gap is getting bigger. It was 101, now it's 105. So the gap is getting bigger between Federi and Mondialo. Now there you see lap number 39. That is Ranzian's. I had to solve the issue. The issue is already solved with the cell phone. Don't mind about that. that is Ranzian's. Ranzian's. He's being attacked by Goldsmith. Goldsmith is in 7th place somehow, despite all the incidents that he has been involved today. That is Goldsmith. We got a yellow flag. It's Vedran Vedrina and Ionescu. Now we gotta see what happened here. That is Vedrina. Vedran Vedrina. Now, let's see what happened here. Coming to Ascari, and yeah, Vedran Vedrina was hit by Robert Ionescu. I wouldn't say, I would say this is a racing incident. I mean, I'm not the guy that is going there to blame everyone. I think crashes are part of racing, and some Americans would even say that it's part of a spectacle. So why not? Why not? As long as nobody's hurt, it's all fine. And yeah, Vedran Vedrina was hit by Ionescu, and both ended up going at the outside of the track. Vedrina is in a dangerous position, as you saw. Federi, he just went right past him, so Vedrina is in a dangerous spot. But I wonder, like, yeah, Vedrina has to wait for a lot of people, but does he know what a rear gear means? Has he ever used the rear? Does his car has a rear transmission? Or not? He's still there. Yeah, he's still there. Or maybe he stole the engine. What could be is that he possibly stole the engine. There you see Federi. Federi in the lead, the homeboy, the Italian. He's in the lead. And Vedrina is still there. I think he stole the engine. It's one of two things. Either he doesn't know what rear means, use the rear means, or he stole the engine, which is very, very likely to happen. And I think that happened. And yes, Vedran Vedrina is out of the race. I think he stole the engine. And he stole the engine, so there was no reason to continue. So Vedran Vedrina is officially out of the race. Now going to lap number 41. Federi and Mondialo. Looks like this is going to be the battle for the win. Federi's car seems to be very shaky. Oh, Federi's slowing down. Federi's slowing down, and Mondialo's gonna lead. You have got to be kidding me. You have got to be kidding me. Nelson Mondialo leads. Andrea Federi is out of the race. Possibly. We're gonna see the yellow flag at some point. There it is, the yellow flag, and there you saw Andrea Federi there.
There's a transmission failure.
You're hearing the engineer in the radio saying very loudly that it's a transmission failure, and that's what it is. Andrea Feder is out of the race. I mean, it's his home race. That is not fair. And he's out of the race. He deserved better. I mean, he got a win in Oscherschleiben, but I think he deserved better. Lap number 41, Nelson Mondial is leading the race. Have you ever thought Nelson Mondial leading the race? Like, I would never thought that. I mean, only Romanians would ever think that he is capable of fighting for wins. But he is very likely to win unless something happens to him. But the gap is gigantic between him and Oscar Clayton, who is in second. There's Petramuka locking up the tires. Look at Goldsmith here. Goldsmith and Renzians. But Goldsmith couldn't get it done. The rear of Renzian's cars is so wide that Goldsmith couldn't do it. Oh, now he can do it. He caught the draft. Now side by side with Renzian's, and he's just gonna make it. Now Goldsmith has a door, by the way. In his first pit stop, it was all fixed. And now Goldsmith has a door. Look at Renzian's here, side by side. He's fighting back. And Renzian's is gonna take 5th place from Jimmy Goldsmith. Very, very well done. There you see it. Goldsmith trying to recover his position against Renzians. Renzians is giving him a hard time. But Goldsmith is going to take 5th place from Renzians. Very, very smart maneuver. He just made it. There was nothing that Renzians could do. But I wonder if Renzians actually cares. Like, he already won the title, so yeah. Oh, he must be like inside the car. He must be like, oh, I lost another position. Oh, okay. That's what he's probably thinking. I mean, he has nothing left to lose anymore. There you see Joel Dyer. Joel Dyer, he is 0.9 seconds in front of Victor Prieto. Now you see the order there of the drivers on the left. And look at Oscar Clayton. He improved 13 positions. I mean, 13 positions. And now he's in 2nd place. I mean, good job from Oscar Clayton. He started in 15th and now he's in 2nd. I know someone who would have been very proud of him. There you see Nelson Mondial in the lead. That is the biggest achievement of Romania. I mean, Blaga didn't win a single race. Nitsu, when he was in DTM, he didn't win a single race. Ionescu, in his offline championship career, never won a race. He got a pole in GP2, but he never won a race. And now Mondial, the one that we all thought was going to fail the hardest, is getting the best results from a Romanian driver for now. 3 laps to go. It's just 3 laps to go. That is Victor Prieto in 4th place, trying to catch Joel Dyer. Look at Azu Zafri there, side by side. And he's just gonna make it. 9th place for Azu Zafri. He overtook the Playboy car of Alvin Summers. Very, very good overtaking maneuver. And now is in 9th place for Ezra Zafri. That is Oscar Clayton. Oscar Clayton is in 2nd place. He's trying to make the gap between him and Mondialo smaller, but I don't think that is happening. I mean, maybe with some fastest laps in these 3 laps to go, maybe he can score a few fastest laps, and maybe Mondialo has a problem. Nah, who am I kidding? It's probably a lost race for him. 2 laps to go. Mondialo is very close to his first ever win. You gotta see it to believe it, man. No one thought he would ever do something really useful. I mean, you gotta remember, like, when Nelson Mondialo made his debut in Oschersleben, he didn't even qualify. He started from the back, as he scored absolutely no time. He scored no time, so... And somehow in Oschersleben... Okay, to be fair, Oschersleben was a very confusing race, but he ended up finishing 7th place after starting in 22nd, so... Whether you like him or not, he was really good there. He has been scoring points all the time, but he's always there in the back. He's always never impressive until today. There you see Victor Prieto overtaking Joel Dyer for 3rd place. That is lap number 45 at this point. Now on to the final lap, and that is Mondialo. Nelson Mondialo, who debuted in Oschersleben, as I said. He also missed the Spa-Francorchamps round because he was replaced by Felix Sontag in that race, but only for that race. And there he is, Nelson Mondialo. Probably the best thing to come out of Romania ever since the football team in the late 90s. There it is. There he is. Ionescu is in 16th. He's very close to be lapped, but he's not going to be lapped. Look at... That is Petramuka. Petramuka is overtaking Jordan Worrell, coming to the Parabolica. That was a very, very smart maneuver, and he just made it. And now coming to the final corners, there he is. Onto the final corners, and there it is. The man of the hour. I cannot believe I'm going to say these words, but Nelson Mondialo has actually won in DTM, and he wins in Italy.
Alright, you won, great drive.
You have got to be kidding me, but he just did it. Unbelievable, folks. This is proof that anything can happen. After 1 hour, 5 minutes, and 21 seconds of racing, that was one of the longest races of DTM. 2nd place to Oscar Clayton. There you see Chris Brown, lap driver. Then is Prieto 3rd, Dyer, then Goldsmith. And here he is, the man of the moment and DTM champion, Ranzians. He has finished in 6th place. There is the champion. The championship trophy is going to Latvia. There he is, Ranzians. The car number 2. He got 2 wins in this season. He's the only driver to get more than 1 win in DTM. And he's very likely to be going to the main series. Probably going to Sauber for the next season. They see the other cars crossing the finish line. That's Kloske and Ionescu. Look at this. Look at this. Trying to get to the draft side by side to the finish line. And Kloske got 15th. 0.006 of a second. You have got to be kidding me. That was the difference between the two. There is Nelson Mondialo, the race winner. Very well done. And now you're going to see the final results. There he is. Nelson Mondialo won the race, followed by Oscar Clayton, Victor Prieto, Joe Dyer, Jimmy Goldsmith, Renz Jans, Richard Johnson, and Azu Zafri. They're going to see the rest of the field. Julius Anderson, so close yet so far away from the points. John Artur, Alvin Summers. Then 12th place for Alexander Zimchik. He was also followed by Petra Muka. Then Jordan Worrell, Jonathan Kloske, Robert Ionescu. It was just 0.06 of a second between these two. Unbelievable. That is Chris Brown. Also, he finished 17th. And then the retirements. Andrea Federi, Vedran Vedrina, Hakan Som, Levente Dobos, and of course, Victor Ibobo. Now, we gotta go to the fastest lap. Who scored the fastest lap? We're just going to see here who scored the fastest lap. Yeah, you seen the cursor there pointed out. It was 0.06 of a second, the gap between Kloske and Ionescu. Very, very close racing. This is what racing is all about, folks. Now, we're seeing the fastest lap here, and it was scored by Jimmy Goldsmith. 1:22.998. Fastest lap scored by Jimmy Goldsmith. I think it's his first ever fastest lap here in DTM. I'm not sure, but I believe it is. Now you see the other drivers and their best laps. If you want to know for a trivial, trivially speaking. There you see the lap times that everyone scored. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to see the standings, how it all ended. We're going to see it here. There it is. Renz Jans, 47 points. He's your DTM champion. Levente Dobos, 42. Joe Dyer, 35. Victor Prieto, 27. Oscar Clayton, 23. Victor Ibobo, 22. Petra Muka, 21. Jonathan Kloske, also 21. Nelson Mondialo, 17. Hakan Som, also with 17. Alvin Summers and John Artur with 16. Jordan Worrell and Mihni Abalaga with 15. Richard Johnson, 14. Azu Zafri, 12. Chris Brown, 12. Andrea Federi, 11. Jimmy Goldsmith, 10. Vedran Vedrina, also with 10. Andrei Valentin Nitsu with 8. Kapa Hatala, 6, just like Alexander Zimchik. 5 points for Julius Anderson, 1 point for Colin Riley, and 0 points for Felix Sontag and Robert Ionescu. The season is over, folks. The DTM season is over, folks. Thank you so much for watching all of these races. I gotta thank Flynn and Folka for giving me the opportunity to commentate in most of the races. I could commentate in every race, but a few people wanted to commentate. Actually, it was just one. It was just Tato, and I let him commentate a few races. But I'm very thankful for Flynn and Folka giving me a chance to be part of this, to commentate this championship for you guys. It was so much fun. Subscribe to Florent's channel if you haven't done so. Like the video below. And yeah. Now it's going to be next season. It's going to be next season. The DTM season was so much fun. You got to agree with me with that one. It was really, really fun. Renz Jans was the champion. And as far as DTM goes, I will see you at the next season. Who knows? Maybe at the next season. I'm the Grime Lloyd, and the only thing I got to say to you is bye.